Greetings, beloved, and welcome to our Wholesome Wednesday. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you for liking, for subscribing. Let us continue to subscribe and to like. So today we continue with our journey, the book of Exodus, right? And last week we spoke about the God of Israel that is asking his people, can you build a tabernacle so that I can come and dwell amongst you? And we had a question. Why would a holy God want to come and dwell with an unholy people? That was the question that we had. And also, we take note that this time we are talking about tabernacle. So the tabernacle that they are supposed to build the tabernacle here is a noun, right? And we know that in the New Testament, when we are talking about tabernacle, we're talking about it as a verb, that Christ came to tabernacle with us. But here, the tabernacle that we're given these old dimensions. It is a noun that we're talking about, right? So they are asked, can you build me a sanctuary or build me a tabernacle so that I can come and dwell among you? And the children of Israel are given the specifics, right? Our God is a specific God. He's a God of specific. He's got so much order, right? He will give up to detail what I want in a place that I want to reside in. This is what I want. And for you to have a relationship with me, this is what I want. Now build me a house. In this house, this is what. He is a God of specifics, right? He does not leave anything open for you to figure out. He gives you the specifics of what he wants. He has got specifics for us as individuals. Each one of us, God has got a way on how he speaks to us, on how he relates to us. We are unique, and his approach to us is also unique, right? So he has given the children of Israel these messages, and now the children of Israel are being given these messages, and they are putting things in place so that their God can come and dwell amongst them. Now, we want to answer that question. How does a holy God dwell amongst a very unholy or sinful people? I mean, we have been reading the book of Exodus and we have figured out how sinful, like all of us, the children of Israel were. Despite that they are God with them who would do miracles, but before long they would forget and they would go back to their old ways, just like all of us. So now, this God, with the way he is so holy, with the way these people are so sinful, how is it going to come? How is it going to end, right? Now God is giving them specifics, and I'm going to, so this tabernacle is got two parts that I want us to look at, especially the inner one. So we have the holy place and the most holy place. Of course, there are these other things in between here that they have to take care of, that they have to put in place, but I want us to answer that question first. So the children of Israel, in these two parts, there is the holy place and the most holy place. And in this most holy place, the high priest will get in once, right, in a year, and will get there and would, right, he will be representing everyone in the camp. Remember, this tabernacle is supposed to be built, right, and then put in the middle of the camp, so that the children of Israel, this worship that happens here is the center, right? So showing that God is the center of their lives. Now, they are given specifics in the holy place. They have the table of shewbread, there is the incense, there is the seven candlesticks, and then in the most holy place, this is where I want us to be at. In the most holy place, there is the Ark of the Covenant. And then in the Ark of the Covenant, there are 10 commandments that they have been given, right? And on top of the there is the mercy seat. Now, how would a holy God dwell amongst the sinful people? So God, when he is looking down on the people, he is seeing versus what they are doing, right? They are sinful like all of us. They are doing things that are wrong. And God decides that he is going to first come in contact with mercy before he looks into the law versus what they are doing. So mercy is at the top, and then the commandments are under. So he encounters mercy first. When he is now merciful, he then looks at the law versus what they are doing. So we have a God that always veils himself, right? He veils himself so that he could have communion with his people. First, we remember that Jesus comes and he comes in human form so that glory is veiled. Otherwise, when God comes in his form, like we agreed last week, God is later to human beings because we are so sinful and his glory is so much we can't embrace or take in that glory. So we would surely die. But God always, because he understands our weakness, he always veils himself. So here he is veiling, right? He is covering the law using the mercy, right? The mercy seat. So the mercy is covering, and then he would look at the law versus what the children of Israel are doing. Now, we all know that the priest would sprinkle blood right round this ark, right, throughout when he comes into this most holy place, representing Christ that is going, the blood of Jesus that will be shed. Now, when God is looking at all this, it is before he looks at the law that is inside. So this is to make sure, this is to protect and make sure that God is veiled, right? And we are not consumed. Because what the children of Israel were doing there versus how holy God was, they were not going to be able to coexist. Now we have mercy at the top so that God will be able to commune with his people, to have to dwell amongst them, because mercy is covering, right? When he's looking at their sinfulness, it's coming from an angle that is the window, the paradigm is mercy is first, and then he sees the law versus what they do. So this is how a holy God can dwell amongst his people, his sinful people. And today you might be looking at yourself and thinking, with all that I've done, with the sins that I've committed, does God really care? Does he really love me? Would he be able to take me back? Would he not consume me? God always looks at us from the mercy seat, right? He looks at you from Calvary. When he's looking at you from Calvary. He's not looking at you from his holiness space. He's looking at you from Calvary, from the blood that was shed for you and me. That's how he views you. So no matter what you have done, as long as you are willing to say, Lord, I want to surrender, as long as you are willing to give up your life and you say, Lord, take charge, he is willing. You see, there is a picture that I saw where they were depicting, there is a hand, there are two hands like this. Another finger is lifted up, this other person, the hand is just, all the fingers are looking down. And they are saying this hand that is lifted up is the hand of God. It's always willing, right? For you to, all you have to do is to lift up yours and meet this one. His is always in one position. It's here. And you, what you only have to do is to lift this one and touch the finger of God and touch him, right? So God is always willing, from whichever angle you might be coming from. God is always willing to take you in and embrace. So I'm calling it to a God that views you from the lenses of mercy. Imagine all these other gods and other spirits that we have encountered in our lives, trying to get to this God, and you realize that no, this is not the real one, because these gods, if you don't do something right, you are dead. If you make a mistake, you are gone. It's either you are crippled, it's either you have a disability, now you are disabled because of a mistake that you made. Of course, we face our consequences when we sin, but our God, he veils himself and he views us. He views and looks at us from the space of mercy, from the space of saying, okay, I understand you. See, from the space of Calvary, that there is a Jesus that died for all of us so that we could be saved. And he looks at us from mercy and is willing to take us in as we are.